Party with your host, Dustin Rybka.
Hello and welcome to Sex Party. I'm your host, Dustin Rybka. With me on the show this week is personal development coach, host of the Growth on the Rocks podcast, and my dear friend, Desiree Simone. She is back to do our annual episode where we make predictions about what's going to happen in 2025. And we also check up on the predictions we made in 2024, as well as go over 2024 in general. It's been a crazy, crazy year. 2025 is going to be even crazier. You may remember Desiree from the infamous Diddy episode that I dropped this season, one of the biggest episodes of the season. We are going to go into some more Diddy stuff. There's a bit of new information. There's kind of a lot of Diddy happening in this episode. So if you're a fan of that, you're going to love this. So without further ado, please enjoy my conversation with Desiree Simone.
This week's conversation.
Desiree Simone, my friend, welcome back to Sex Party. It has been way too long. I know we talked about, getting you on so many different times. We've been DMing, we've been talking about it, whatever. You were on one of the biggest episodes of this season, which was the Diddy episode. And people are like, oh my God, are you guys ever going to do a follow-up? Or blah, blah, blah. Where's Desiree? So welcome back.
You're welcome. Here's your follow-up, kids. Ask and ye shall receive.
Yeah. People love that Diddy episode. They also loved the idea that I was getting emails apparently from like Diddy's attorney to tell. Right. So I'm still trying to figure out what we said about Diddy in that episode. There were pieces where I'm like, oh shit, we talked about that and it came true, right? Mm-hmm. But there was some big shit in there they were scared about, apparently. So
it's called foreshadowing. That's what it is.
We had a very good source.
It's called foreshadowing.
Carl Winslow, America's cop, this poor man.
Cop dad, he was dancing on Dancing with the Stars, and then all that happened. But so sad. But at the same time, like he, strongly denied it. He was confronted, I want to say, outside of a Dancing with the Stars rehearsal, and just was like, I don't know what you're talking about. That wasn't me, a la Shaggy. So, yeah.
But then he wished Diddy good luck or something. Which
he did.
Weird. I thought that was very strange.
Which is like that whole sign of like, Diddy, we're cool. But like, I didn't do anything. So yeah.
Yikes. So this is going to be sort of a little tradition that you and I started, which is very special, is at the end of the year, and this will probably air first or second week of January. So it's perfect because we're gonna recap briefly what happened in 24. We're gonna make predictions about 25, and we're also gonna check in on some of the predictions we made last year that may or may not have come true. I think you got closer to the bullseye than I did. I named the wrong restaurant, whatever. But before we do any of that, maybe if someone's just discovering this podcast, maybe they just came out of some sort of elective surgery or something, and they have amnesia, or they had food poisoning, or were lost on a boat. I don't know. They just haven't seen this show before. They don't know who you are. Can we just recap for the noobs here that we love? We love the noobs. Who are you? What do you do? Talk about your podcast.
Yeah, all of the good things. So my name is Desiree Simone. I'm a personal development, guest. I'm a personal development coach. I've only had 2 sips of this 100 proof barrel bourbon that I'm drinking. So
you're drinking bourbon. I'm drinking my favorite, which is Tito's.
Of course you are.
Tito's and Crystal Head vodka are my favorite, but
you know what? Shout out to Dan Aykroyd. I have not tried it.
Cheers.
I need
cheers
to. What up? Cheers. Everyone cheers, guys. We have a drink here.
I refilled mine on purpose.
Take 2. So my name is Desiree Simone. I'm a personal development coach. I also host a boozy personal development podcast called Growth on the Rocks, where I sit down with people and we talk all things life, love, and libations, all sorts of topics underneath the sun, usually over cocktails. So the podcast is meant to sit like you're with your best friend over drinks, talking about relationships, sex, politics, marriage, counseling, therapy, grief, all the good things, sometimes bad things. But it's a podcast where you could learn and grow, and at the same time feel like you're talking with your best friend, which is me. But we also like to consume booze at the same time. So a lot of times with the guests, the conversations are really fun and really free flowing, because by the end of about 45 minutes, we've downed a couple of drinks and there you go.
Yeah, which I mean, this episode of Sex Party will be like that too, because we always drink on the whenever you're on, we drink, but you know, we might overdo it a little bit, which will be fucking great, right? So
I poured a tall glass and mine is 100 proof, so
yeah, I mean, I think there's probably like in mine, there's one square ice cube that's just fighting for its life right now,
just drowning.
Yeah. Kind of like me all the time, right? Like there's this one ice cube drowning in Tito's, which we love.
Shout out
when
to
I
Tito's.
die. Yeah, shout out to Tito's. Shout out to Crystal Head Vodka. You know, feel free to send gifts. If we reach the level of podcasting, which we haven't, just send them anyway. I don't know. I love you guys. Cheers.
Which we will. We totally will. And for people who listen to my podcast, my go-to is Jameson whiskey. So I apologize that I'm actually not drinking Jameson right now. I was gifted a bottle of, I cannot remember what it's called. I'm so sorry. But it is tasty, and it is from West Virginia, and that's all I remember.
West Virginia vodka, or no, like whiskey, bourbon. Jesus,
yeah.
I've only had one sip.
It is too early.
Wow,
we got a whole episode to go through, babes.
Yeah. So okay, so first of all, you know, I love having you here. I don't know why it took so long to get you back. We did do that episode about Diddy. Things were fucking crazy. I thought someone was following me for a while. I'm not playing around. I'm not joking. Might have been the Tito's and the paranoia, but I was getting emails and all the things. So people, probably a lot of people, because that was one of the biggest episodes this season. We were warned not to go ahead with the episode, and we both decided to do it anyway, which I think a lot of people were happy about and cheered about. I woke up in the morning to a massive amount of downloads, and I was like, oh shit. So there's that. Diddy is going to come up again in this episode. I know you have new information. We're not saying where it's from, whatever. Would you like, let's recap 2024 a little bit. Like, what do you have for me? Where do you want to start? I throw to you.
I mean, we might as well just start with Diddy. So unless you were living under a rock, we finally had sex trafficking charges formally brought up against Diddy. Now, the crazy thing, and we talked about this when we did the earlier episode, is that when the US government brings grand jury charges out for someone, that's not like your local, government that's sitting here and saying, oh, I think this person did XYZ, and we would like file formal charges against them. No, when the US jury, we're doing like grand jury charges for someone, that means, oh, no, I'm so sorry. I have all of this evidence right here, and we are ready to present our case. And the US government is not playing when it comes to grand jury indictments, because basically what they're saying is we have everything to go to trial today, and we feel that confident about it. And the things that they had, and I actually read the indictments, were absolutely insane. So we're talking sex trafficking. Obviously, we're talking about sex with minors. We're talking about blackmail. We're talking about embezzlement, possibly. Full RICO charges, by the way. If you're not familiar with RICO, this is a great case to learn about it. But I think most notably, when the U.S. Marshals raided Diddy's home in Miami, they discovered not 20, not 100, not 400, but thousands of bottles of baby oil. Now I ask you, for what? For what?
When I saw that picture where it was like a cop standing there, like, or two SWAT dudes like chatting, right? And there was like an entire room devoted to baby oil, like whatever. I was like, that's fucking AI. That's not even real. And turns out it was real. And he did have like, it was like 20,000 bottles or something of, I mean, do you think he's getting a discount?
My hope is that there's a Costco membership somewhere where you can pull up the receipts.
Sure.
And maybe Barbara, who was checking out stuff that day, was like, I remember when that Sean Combs came into my line with his assistant, and I was asking him, what do you need all this baby oil for? And he's like, well, I don't know. My skin's ashy. And so that's why I got it. And so I'm really hoping that actually happened.
But even like if you imagine the wildest, craziest, like Caligula, just like alcohol, drug induced, debaucherous orgy ever, what would you need? 1,000 bottles, we'll say 500 bottles that look like 500 lined up to me, maybe more, 1,000 of baby oil for. Like, I want to paint a picture.
No, I do. No, paint it, please. No, paint it.
Well, I want to paint a picture of like maybe what we know is fact. Like how many people were these like Diddy party freak offs? What were they doing? Like, was he watching? Was he filming? We know both are true, but
we know both are true.
Was this 100 people on one person? Was it like, what do we know?
I don't think we actually know specific numbers. I believe that the people filing charges know specific numbers because there are a lot of other people attached to this particular lawsuit. And obviously the people involved know the real truth, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they've not actually released, freak off that happened Tuesday, January 18th of 2023 involved 75 dicks. Like, we don't know that.
Yeah.
Or do we? So those things haven't been released to the general public, but one can assume if you're getting that much baby oil, a lot is taking place.
Yeah. I mean, that's insane to me, right? Because even if I were to be in a situation where it's like me and like multiple women, like, I mean, I'm not going to go through one bottle of lube. Well, maybe like the fucking
like the bottle size,
like the medium size, right? Mm-hmm. Like I'm gonna blow through that Astroglide, sure, right? But like the idea that 100 plus people, we don't even know, right? And like we get it, but that was just so astounding to me to see that picture of 500 to 1,000 bottles of baby oil, a whole room. So, I mean, that would have to be a current thing, right? It had to have, like, we're not talking like, oh, he did this back in 2015. He did this back. This is like, do we think this is a nightly thing, a weekend thing, or what? Like, what was his shit?
I mean, the parties were lavish. They were relatively known. I loved how following our episode, you and I repeatedly kept sending each other these videos that were filmed like years ago before all this happened, where celebrities talked about the Diddy parties. And, we're talking white party and all this kind of fun vibe and not realizing it's full Caligula kind of shit. But one could only assume that those baby oil bottles were being used on a regular basis. I mean, think about it. When you go to Costco, shout out to Costco, and you get a big amount of toilet paper, one, it's going to be used, right? So that's the reason why you stockpile it. But also it's going to be one of those things that you're like, yeah, it's going to be used relatively quickly because it's toilet paper, because it's something that you're using on a basically regular basis. Mm-hmm. Ergo, you're probably doing the same thing with your freak off baby oil.
Yeah, I mean, and the fact that it was in like all the like the glass cabinets and shit, it's like he was showing it off or whatever. But I do think, and I could be wrong about this, but because there's a narrative out there like they're all guilty. Everybody went to a Diddy party is guilty. So whatever. He threw parties his whole like career, really, yes. And he threw parties for like during the day at fucking whatever place, and some of it was televised like for MTV, and like it doesn't so I think, and I could be wrong, but it doesn't, and I said this the last time, but just because I think that there was a Diddy party and then a Diddy freak off maybe happening at the same time if you chose to partake or whatever, but I just don't think that like Kathy Lee Gifford and like whoever the fuck is like coming to these fucking parties is like automatically getting like a cock shoved up her ass or like whatever, and like in the freak off. Go ahead. Sorry.
Or was Kathy Lee getting a cock shoved up her ass?
I mean, maybe. And that
But-
brings up LeBron James, because he definitely said, ain't no party like a Diddy party. I'm just saying.
Now, here's what I will say about the idea of you've got a normal beach party versus a Diddy party. And then also, what's to say there wasn't a Diddy party that was just literally that, like a good old fucking party, right?
Yeah.
I think one of the things that I enjoyed having conversations with about people or with people related to this was this idea of, oh gosh, if you have a sex party, like I dropped that,
Nice.
that you're welcome. That all of a sudden you are, you know, it's sin, it's debauchery. And it's like, well, no, like, first of all, you will be amazed and how many parties like that happen in your neighborhood, Karen. I want you to know that. So one, that's on a regular basis. Two, we are not going to kink shame people for that, because most of those parties, like 98% of those parties, are consensual. And so I remember when this started coming out, that narrative just of, oh gosh, people are getting together and having sex in front of each other just seems so disgusting. And me personally, I just hated that conversation. I hated that conversation because we are kink shaming, and because a lot of those parties are not only fun and pleasurable, but they have like the salt of the earth people. Talk about just some of the coolest, insightful people outside of, you know, sex or sex work or anything like that. So it brought kind of this negative connotation to people already in the lifestyle doing that, which I personally felt was just not fair. Now, that's a nice, safe kind of sex party. Let's go to freak offs with Diddy. And that's a whole totally different conversation. And I just feel like it's very important to say they are two different entities and never the two shall meet.
Yeah. I definitely think that some of his celebrity friends were partaking, obviously, in whatever freak off shit he was doing. But I just don't think that just because it was a party made it a fucking gang blowout fucking thing. Like, it's not, the two aren't mutually exclusive, I don't think, you know? I think, and I mean, do you have any earth shattering? Has anything come out that's caught your attention about what we know? I mean, I know he's in jail. He's like refusing to eat or some bullshit. His lawyer's trying to get him out, and they keep saying no.
Yeah, that's basically it. Nothing else has come out.
Is it true that he is asking for a bottle of baby oil in his cell so he can smell it because he misses the smell?
My reports say that is not true.
Okay.
But he is getting baby oil access. He is. So, because I mean, it's prison. So,
but what is Johnson and Johnson going to do without Diddy?
Can you imagine like the marketing team the next day when that shit was going out from Johnson and Johnson going, we gotta
oh my God. Yeah.
We gotta work on this. Like, who can we call? Where's Olivia Pope when you need her?
For real, right? Or like, what are we gonna do with this massive gaping hole in our sales?
Gaping hole. Yeah.
Gaping hole.
Gaping hole.
Could be, yeah.
Or they could honestly lean into it and have their own brand of Diddy lube. I'm just saying.
Ooh, I don't think that's not gonna.
maybe we don't call it Diddy, but maybe they say, you know what, fuck it, here's our lube.
You imagine if you like, because I heard there was a pizza place. I don't know where it is. It's called Diddy's Pizza, and it just looks like it was a fun name, and now they're like totally fucked, right? Because they have to change their name, right? Even my show, Sex Party, I've gotten a couple Diddy comments on share or whatever. I'm surprised I haven't gotten more, but like, you know, it would suck if you opened a restaurant or you know, like Diddy Kong is a fucking character in a video game that no one's going to look at the same way ever again. That's totally ruined.
And that's the thing, is you can either lean into that really great marketing, or you pivot. You say, I want nothing to do with it. So I'm personally the kind of person where I would want you to lean into it and see what genius marketing you can do from it.
So what do you think, in your opinion, what do you think happens with Diddy in 2025? Doesn't have to be a prediction, just a thought.
I think we'll finally go to trial. to be honest with you, because I want to say he was arraigned like spring of 24. I can't remember the date. So
Mhm.
it's been a minute, right? So I think we're finally going to go to trial, and I think that is probably going to be the court TV level of excitement that we haven't seen since maybe, I don't want to say the Simpson trial because that's like on another level. But we're going to probably get some really great entertainment out of that. But I
Yeah.
think he'll finally go to trial in 25.
So which trial are you more looking forward to in 25? Is it Luigi Mangione's trial or Diddy's trial?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of looking forward to Luigi Mangione's trial.
Yeah, me too.
I'm looking forward to it. And first off, don't come at me. Don't think, oh, she looking forward to it because he cute or something. No, that's not even it. I'm looking forward to it purely based on the coverage that's already been existing, and this man has
Yeah.
not been to trial yet. Like, this is fascinating to me. So, based off of that, I think that's going to be really interesting to watch, and how, of
Yeah.
course, the media covers it.
Well, I mean, they perp walked him like he was fucking the
Superman.
Terminator or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a Superman perp walk for sure.
It really did look like it.
The mayor's there and shit, and like whatever. It definitely looked like a Zack Snyder film for sure. It was like
It did.
a
Like, you could hear the
whole thing.
soundtrack.
Oh yeah. Those mashups, like somebody like played like Many Men, or whatever.
Come on.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, no, it's so good. It's so good. And there, I mean, the Diddy trial, I think, if he's connected, he has to be playing some sort of card, right? Because I just wonder if there's any, like, do you think he gives people up to save himself? Do you think he because if there were other celebrities involved, do they just not care because he was the one facilitating? Or, I mean, I don't know what the fuck. This seems very messy. And the other thing too is if they raided his Miami home and it was like a month or two before why didn't he just like hung around the driveway for 2 months? Like, hey, I'm still here.
Knowing that he's going to get charged. So it's kind of like what I said in our last episode, which is there has to be somebody bigger than Diddy, because you're right. You mean to tell me that all these other people are just chilling in the cut and everything's fine? Like, no, there has to be somebody bigger who is sitting there saying, I seriously doubt you want to open your mouth. He has to be playing his card right. Now, going back to Mr. Luigi here, we found out a lovely little tidbit that the man and woman who are representing Luigi and Diddy are in fact married in real life.
So crazy.
Those attorneys are actually married in real life. What is that dinner conversation like?
Right. Like, imagine the Cobb salad conversation.
Right. The Cobb salad. The wife is representing Luigi and the husband is representing Diddy. So you've got two extremely influential couples, and for a fact they're talking. They're having conversations.
Yeah, of
right?
course.
So I think ultimately, like I said before, and I still stick by what I said in the previous episode, there has to be somebody bigger who is just sitting there going,
well, like who?
And that's the thing, is like,
You're scared to name names or what?
I'm not scared to name names, but I don't know. Although, remember, I did say Tyler Perry, which I know seemed like a weird thing to say, but I was like,
well, you're not saying that Tyler Perry
out.
is the guy
I'm
in the
not
chair.
saying he's the bigger guy. But
actually, you did have a theory though that Epstein and Diddy were connected.
Yes.
So
in some weird, bizarre way. But what I will say about Tyler Perry is, remember, Tyler Perry is associated really closely with one of my idols, Oprah. I hate to say it. And Oprah has gotten a lot of hot press over several years with some of her decisions and some of the people that she makes connections with. She had a horrible response when the Maui fires happened with her home in The Rock and money that was donated. There's been a lot of talk about, she couldn't have acquired that money that fast when her beginnings were so insanely humble. There's been a lot of negative Oprah talk, to which I say, shut your mouth. But also, you kind of, when you keep hearing things, you unfortunately just kind of have to keep your eyes and ears open.
Sure.
So my connection to sit here and say something silly like Tyler Perry when he's so close to someone like Oprah, who is so close to so many influential, powerful people, is not far-fetched.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, this is and obviously comment on it as you will, but like this is the thing is everyone's like, oh, Illuminati. This is we're finally exposing the Illuminati. And I said Illuminati 3 times, and now this podcast episode is gonna get fucking pulled, right? Whatever.
Or it is gonna be the biggest downloaded episode that you've ever had. And Tito's finally says, you know what? Send him a case and let's go ahead and have him be one of our sponsors. That could also happen too.
Yeah, but I mean, hurry up, Tito's. What's the deal?
Hurry up.
I mean, we're drinking this stuff like it's fucking going out of style. So, but my thing is like, do you think this is the exposure of like, you know, because like the fucking Pizzagate bullshit, there's nothing to it. No, my God, Hillary Clinton. I'm not saying that she didn't do anything. I'm not saying anything. All I'm saying is, do you think that with Diddy and all these allegations towards your hero, I love Oprah too, by the way. I think she's awesome, right? And you know, and we'll talk about him in a moment, but other celebrities like Jay Z and Beyonce, they're evil, all this shit. Like, do you think that this is the tip of the spear when it comes to celebrities having an organized sort of weirdo, like eyes wide shut, like fucking Illuminati kind of thing? Or do you think this is not that at all?
I think, in my honest opinion, it's a little bit of both. I think it is the media doing what the media does best, which allows us to be able to speculate on our own. And then I think there's some of it that's based in truth, because the other thing to think about is this idea of the Illuminati and secret societies and eyes wide shut and hush hush shit that we as a general public don't know about has been happening for centuries. It's just so prevalent now because we have fucking social media. So you mean to tell me if Twitter and YouTube didn't exist when John F. Kennedy was president, that conversations wouldn't be totally different? Like, first of all, Marilyn Monroe would be the queen of OnlyFans. Are you fucking kidding me right now?
True.
So there's no way that, knowing our past, that if social media were the demon that it is today, it wouldn't be prevalent to really push out those ideas of conspiracies and controversies and Illuminatis and hidden organization and the Bones group that belongs to all these elite, you know, waspy colleges, right? So this idea that it can't be a little bit of both, it can't be a little bit of the media, and it can't be a little bit of some undercover stuff that we will probably never know. Hence why I keep going back to the idea is there might be somebody bigger than Diddy. But again, we might not ever know.
Do you think that Diddy is going to be found dead in his cell?
Ooh. Epstein style?
Yep. The old Epstein maneuver. The old Epstein maneuver. I don't know what happened. The cameras went out in that section.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. I honestly think it'll be like years from now they go and Diddy was moved to this prison and da 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 da. Like, I think it'll be him and R. Kelly eventually
making jailhouse music.
Right? I don't think so. I don't think he's gonna
Trapped in the Closet, part 90,000.
Part 2008.
Yeah.
The
remix.
The remix. DJ Khaled's on it. Another one.
Oh yeah. Or a guy who sounds like DJ Khaled in fucking prison. DJ Khaled belongs in prison because he does not eat his wife's pussy. Anyway, always gotta sneak that one in. Yeah.
Fucking jail, dude.
Yeah. Just eat it, dude.
Yeah.
So okay, we touched on there. Okay, the Luigi Mangione is in there. Everybody's thirsting over him. Obviously, you know, that's going to be a big part of 2025. I think,
huge.
Regardless of what happens to him, regardless of how you feel about whatever, what's inarguable, what is absolutely true, is that he will have changed things for the better or for the worse. And I think that's all that he set out to do.
I think that's all he set out to do. And at the end of the day, if you saw when he put in his plea and literally looked in the camera and went straight to the microphone and said not guilty with all the confidence in the world, if that didn't shake you up to think, holy shit, stuff is about to pop off and change.
Yeah.
Like I said, I saw that and was just like, okay, that is a trial that I'm going to be keeping my eyes on, because we will forever be altered after that.
Yeah, and you know what? I saw this meme that perfectly sums up how I feel about the whole thing. And it said, well, maybe CEOs can just wear bulletproof backpacks. And that's how I feel about it, right? Because we're not going to protect our kids, or you're going to fucking change our laws for CEOs. Fuck you. All right. So there's that. Do you think, right? Do you think that, and it's a double question, I'm going to ask you about two things, then we're going to move on to something. Do you think that Luigi Mangione gets off? Do you think he gets set, like, insanity, not guilty? Do you think he beats the rap?
God, that's so hard. Well, I'm pausing because you said insanity, and I don't know, did he plead insanity? Like,
no, but I have no idea.
To plead insanity? Because I mean, there's hard evidence showing you committed the crime. So like,
sure, yeah.
Even with an insanity plea, you still, like, there's a lot.
Sure.
I don't.
But do you think he goes to prison?
Yes, but I don't think it's going to be for as long, and I don't necessarily think it's going to be for the original charge.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be like somehow a lesser charge involved, but yeah.
Okay.
I can't see him not going to print. Like, there's video.
Sure.
Like, it just,
so
there's a manifesto. Like, it's so difficult. Like, the premeditation, like, it's just really hard. But if we have this conversation in a couple of weeks because an insanity plea is put out there.
But we've never had someone do what he did and have the public sentiment this high. I mean, so it's never happened in my lifetime. I mean, people want to say things about the Menendez brothers and all of that, right? This is on another level. This is not totally Menendez, different. Right? Totally different. I have a friend who's like, they're going to find a hard time finding a jury to convict him.
Unless you don't have United Healthcare.
Yeah, well, healthcare is a fucking pain in the ass, right?
Yeah.
And healthcare, and I mean, dude, the real crime, right? Not saying what he did was not a crime. Let's make that clear. The real crime is like letting someone die of cancer, right? It's a greater crime, right? Like denying someone's claim and letting them die from fucking whatever it is. I'm type 1 diabetic, and if I didn't have the help that I have in terms of being able to, I have been through it, and I only have, and just because I'm a diabetic, it's $10,000 a month for whatever. And I'm lucky enough that because of, like healthcare changed 10 years ago, I was able to finally get some sort of coverage. Right. And so if I had a loved one that died from, whatever, like, imagine how you'd feel. So I'm not saying that like, hey, he murdered a guy, whatever. What he did is clearly a crime, but we all know, like, allowing people to die so you could fucking increase your company's profits and have a fatter fucking prime rib at the Christmas party is not humane. And that's also 10,000 crimes. Moving on from that depressing fucking bullshit.
I know. I was like, oh God, we could really go. But yeah, it's so heartbreaking.
We got to fucking blow it out at Sex Party. We have our emotions, where we stand on the thing. And so we talked about the Illuminati. I have a feeling the Illuminati is probably going to come back up. I don't know. But so here's my thing. Do you think Diddy gets off? Do you think, because hold on. Let me just say this, because there's something weird going on. It's too quiet. And I know, like,
it is too quiet.
He's got some card that we don't know he's playing. I think he's got dirt or I think they found shit on the videos they took from his place. Mm-hmm. He's like, see, you want that to go out? And so I think there's either like a former president. I think there's either like a fucking CEO of some company, like companies. foreign leaders could start a war. I think that he has people on tape. And this is what Epstein didn't do. Epstein didn't tape his fucking Caligula orgies. Maybe, but and Diddy did. So I think that I think there's somewhere in this Diddy situation that's a stalemate. I think that he has, okay, fine. I'll go tell everybody then in my press conference that blank president and so from this other country, and your boss, the chief of police, like, are all on tape. I think that's, so we're either in an Epstein, like he dies in the cell or he talks or whatever, because this is taking too long. There's not information. I think when they went and got that footage from his house in Miami, they were like, oh shit. Yeah. We can't, can we? Oh my God, do we destroy this? I think that's why he hung around the driveway a little bit. So
I agree. I agree with you that it is, first of all, far too quiet, because they went in super hot. They got him. They got all these charges. The indictment was out. The indictment was available for people to read literally within, I want to say, 24 hours. Like, you could see everything that the U.S. government presented to the grand jury, right? Mm-hmm. I agree with you in that he has the ability to say, okay, do you want me to talk? I can tell you who the people are involved. What I think, and why I still think he's going to do prison time, is there's going to be some sort of deal of, okay, we're going to give you, like, you're screwed. You're R. Kelly. You're staying in here, right?
Bad boy.
Bad boys. I think that's still going to happen for him, but I think what's going to happen is they're going to try to make it as easy and comfortable for him as possible. Not Camp Cupcake like Martha Stewart, but he's still going to do some time, and it's going to be kind of like their deal for him to be like, sure, look, you're staying behind bars. Like, there's no way you're going to be out of here. We're going to put you here. This is what you're going to be able to get. I mean, we're talking almost like mafioso protection of, like, sure, you're going to go here. You're going to do this. This is
it's
fine.
An island.
It's an island. You know, a couple of presidents have been there. It's cool. It's fine. It's gorgeous. Yeah. They've got baccarat. They've got, tennis. It's awesome. You'll love it.
And have your
I
lube.
think they're going to do, you've got all of the Johnson & Johnson that you want.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. Right.
And I think that's what they're going to do. I think they're going to offer him some sort of, like, you're going to stay behind bars. We're going to make it as comfortable as possible for you, as long as you shut your mouth and don't say shit.
Yeah.
And if you say shit, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. That's pretty solid. Yeah, because it's just too weird. And he,
it's too quiet.
Yeah, and there was a video of him that people overlook it where he's like, hey, and he like named everybody from Oprah to fucking, he named like 100 people, like, y'all haven't checked in, or whatever. That was like before he got arrested or whatever. And people took that as like a threat. I just think that he has like so many people on tape doing insane things that he's got a bargaining chip somewhere, right? They don't want to let him go because he'll run, but at the same time, like, okay, let's let him breathe a little or whatever. So there's that. This Jay Z thing that's connected to Diddy, I'll let you set it up, but like, I have thoughts on that too. So
I have thoughts on it too. And we're also recording this after my Lord and Savior just performed at the Beyonce Bowl for the halftime of the Texans Ravens game, which, oh God, Texans, bless your heart. But anyway, when the first allegation, so the allegations stem from a 2000, a year 2000, it's weird to have to like say it that way, 2000, like not the 2000s, like year 2000 MTV VMAs post performance, where Jay Z was apparently at some party and event with Diddy, and there was alleged sexual assault, right? So we're going all the way back 20 plus years for this to have happened. And I think what's interesting is that the second those kind of allegations are presented to a person, you could do one of two camps. You can again, lean into it and be like, fuck you and your mama, I didn't do shit. Or you can show everyone a bunch of other shiny objects to distract them. Now, where my Lord and Savior Beyonce comes in is that when those allegations came out, there was a whole bunch of Beyonce stuff that came out, right? But Beyonce is really smart in her marketing that she very much separated herself from Jay-Z and focused on Cowboy Carter. She was just named one of Forbes' like top influential women. Like she focused on all of those things, never made a statement, didn't do anything. But what she did do was let her husband talk. And what her husband did very quickly was to say, I am lawyered up. I know what's true. I have this in my backing. I'm going to fight these charges. And when people do that very, very quickly in an allegation process, it is usually come to find out that they are very much speaking on truth. Now, that's not to say that Jay-Z might have done something inappropriate, because we also know from past recordings of Rihanna and a couple of other artists when he was doing his early dealings as a producer, Jay-Z's not the most warm and fuzzy kind of person. We know this.
Wait, what were that? What was the thing with Rihanna? I missed that one. Come on.
We're talking baby Rihanna. When Rihanna, we're talking Panda replay Rihanna.
So
when
how
Rihanna,
old was she? 18?
So she's like, there's like a teen at the end of her age, like basically.
Okay. All right.
And so, and this isn't an allegation. This was, after this, I'll have to send you the video.
Sure.
She was interviewed maybe like BET's 106 in Park or something. And they were basically talking about how she got her start and how Jay-Z went to her about being a part of his record label for Rockefeller. And so she met Jay-Z at this like 25th floor high rise. And he offered her a contract and said to her, and Rihanna said these words, these are recorded words on a video, that Jay-Z basically said, there's two ways you can proceed with this contract. You can either sign this contract or you can leave through the window.
No. Maybe he was joking.
We hope he was joking.
I think I'm not. Hey, listen. I'm going to be full transparency here. I love Jay-Z as a rapper.
I love Jay-Z. Oh.
I love him as an artist. I've seen him live in concert. It was fucking amazing, right? I've seen him. I saw him live in concert in 2009. So like, prime Jay-Z.
Yeah.
I just, so I'm not
right? Crazy.
It sucks when shit like this happens to somebody that
I
you
can't
really
believe
like.
you never knew that. Yeah. Like I said, I will send you the clip. I want to say it was like a 106 in Park, like a BET thing. And I will give Rihanna credit. The way she explained it is very kind of cheeky, kind of funny, but there's also a tone where you're like, shit, did he really say that? And who knows, maybe it just added to the mystique that is Jay-Z. And again, I'm also in the same camp as you. I've never seen Jay-Z in concert. He's one of my top 10 concerts that I would love to see, because your girl has almost a full discography of Jay-Z. Fucking love him.
Oh my God,
it is heartbreaking to hear these things. However, I will go back to the point of that he's a very smart businessman, and you cannot deny the business that is Jay-Z.
Mm-hmm.
He's a very smart businessman that when these allegations came out, he was like, nope, lawyered up. Here's the paperwork. Here's what I'm going to say about it. And then after that, didn't say shit, so that he can let the law work on his side. And when people do that, 9 times out of 10, stuff's going to work out on their end.
Well, and not only that, he also filed a motion to reveal this person's identity, which you don't really do that.
He said he was being blackmailed. Yep.
Exactly. And then when they went to her, apparently she spoke to NBC News, and they're like, so Jay-Z was actually in this location when you said he was in this location. You said
totally
your father.
State.
Yep. You said your father picked you up. Your father has gone on record saying he never picked you up.
Remember it.
You said you called from here when in fact we have footage, whatever. And she's like, yeah. I think her response was something like, yeah, I know my story has a lot of holes in it or something like that. So I'm not saying, nor are you, that there's no truth to like her story whatsoever. But I hope that all of these facts stand in the Jay-Z is innocent category, because you know, come on, man. We already lost Kanye. I can't fucking lose Jay Z too.
You know what? I'm okay for us to lose Kanye and his hot messness if that means we can keep Jay Z. Because if we can keep Jay Z,
oh yeah,
and we can also keep my Lord and Savior Beyonce, then I'm fine.
Yeah.
Kanye can fall. I'm so sorry.
No, Kanye sucks as a person. He's terrible as a person. Yeah.
Which sucks because he had such great music, people.
Oh no.
He did. He really, really did.
And also, like, side note, like, can we stop the fucking hate on Beyonce? Like, what's the racist bullshit with Beyonce? Like, listen, she's a woman from Texas. She put out a fucking country album. Get over it. Get over it, right?
I don't know. There's no way there isn't going to be racism. There's no way there isn't going to be some sort of critique from it. But you can't deny that performance she did yesterday for the halftime show was like,
well,
that was amazing.
Why is it okay for Hootie and the Blowfish Darius Rucker to put out country albums to the live long day, but when Beyonce does that, everyone like shits on her for it? I don't fucking get it because she's a woman.
So I had this conversation with somebody yesterday, and I think it's just because of the way, again, we like to talk about marketing, you and I, because that's also what we do like in our daytime. I think it's also a matter of how it was marketed. But what I will say, because again, Lord and Savior Beyonce, I do worship at her altar.
Sure.
In my personal opinion, do not come for me in the comments, people. Cowboy Carter is not a country album. It's not. It's not. It's not. Now here you go. Break. Again, don't come for me because listen, is it heavily country influence? 100%. Because she's not a Darius Rucker where Darius went full, I'm not even Hootie and I'm going to go
twangy
full country. Like Darius 100% did that. Cowboy Carter is not that. It's very country influence. It's very heavy pop. It is definitely some hip hop in there and R&B. You're having an amazing cover of Beatles song. It is a country influenced album, just like it is a pop and R&B and hip hop album. It is packaged as a country album, but I'm sure that's what the CMAs was looking at going, well, it's not really fully country. And I know you're going to have people like Shabuzi who are on it, and you're going to sit there and say, but he's got a country album. It's like, yeah, but the rest of everything for his albums are going to be very heavily, they're country music, right? They're going to be the pop. Hick-hawk is
Hick-hawk?
What they're calling it. No.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like hip-hop is what they're calling it, right? So
like Post Malone and shit.
Exactly. But unlike Beyonce, you just didn't get it. What's harder for her is because she held her ground on it.
Yeah.
And she also made such a really good album because Cowboy Carter, I did not want to like it as much as I did. And I really, really fucking enjoyed it. I think she almost put it in that you country music, you CMA, you country fans have to recognize me.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the kind of fans that don't necessarily like being told what to do.
Yeah.
And because of that, they were like, fuck you, Beyonce. You're not country. Neither is your album. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, it's so stupid. Yeah. Okay. Well, we have all this on record. You know, it's going to be a fucking crazy year in 2025. I mean, we're into the last section of the episode, and this is where we have even more fun, kids, because we're going to chat, about a couple predictions. Mm-hmm. I don't have them in front of me because I'm just that guy. I don't have them in front of me. I don't remember exactly what I predicted from last year that would happen in 2024. But, somewhere we got really close. I know that you said you thought that there was going to be a huge sex scandal with a black person of influence and power. Originally, you said that you think it would be Tyler Perry, but it turned out it was Diddy. So you got close to the pin on that, right? I said there was going to be some sort of scandal. I think with Burger King, I really knew in my whatever. Luigi Mangione got caught at a McDonald's. Is that a stretch? Yes, that's a stretch. Kind of.
Not necessarily. Because Burger King was like, we don't snitch. What? So it's not really a stretch, is it?
I just saw the fucking burger, the emblem in my brain when I was whatever.
You were hungry.
Yeah, I can't remember what else. Oh, I did. I remember we did say something about I think I said something about like a big celebrity cat fight, like over a dude. And originally, I think I said it was gonna be Miley Cyrus, but like look at like Sabrina Carpenter, Shawn Mendes, and Camila Cabello, right? Am I saying that right? I always fuck up her name.
Cabello. Yeah, you're saying it right. Yeah.
That was kind of a fucking thing. She put a Sabrina Carpenter. So I mean, did I nail that? Was it Miley? No.
I'm gonna give you half a point.
Okay. I can't think. There was one more of yours that was pretty great, but I can't think of what it was.
There was definitely something related to Celebrity Feud, but I do remember when we were talking about things related to Diddy and whatnot, the big thing was like, do we think it's somebody bigger, and who do we think the bigger person is? And I was like, I can't speak on it.
Yeah, well,
legally, I'm not allowed to speak about it.
We may be teasing a future something or other here. I know that we ruffled some feathers when we did the Diddy thing, so like maybe we're gonna go back and ruffle some more. So I think what we should do now in the final part of this show, the most fun part, right, is let's make some predictions about what we think is going to happen. And we already kind of did. Like I kind of asked you, like, oh, is this person going to jail or whatever? But like let's each make 3 predictions.
This is the prediction part of the episode. So if you're watching this later on, you can be like, this is the section where they're like 2025 predictions. Boom, here we go.
So at the end of the year or the beginning of next year, 2026, right? Then we'll come back and look at this. And maybe we'll be a little more organized, but probably we won't because it's just not as fun.
It's us.
Yeah.
It's us.
We like to drink and, fuck it, right? Whatever. So would you like to go first or should I?
I would like you to go first.
Okay. So I think prediction number 1, Dustin prediction number 1 for 2025. Okay. I think that there is going to be a big, massive A-list celebrity who joins OnlyFans. And if we're just going to throw a guess out there, I think it's going to be someone like Scarlett Johansson. Just that's my prediction, because I think ever since Sophie Rain said, hey, I'm making 43 million and I'm not even having sex, I think that opened the ball more so. Whether you want to believe her or not, she did show receipts, all this shit, whatever. I know some of the sex work community is furious about it, and I understand. And I know whatever. And like, no, but I mean, personally, I don't like a tease. So like, I would never like give someone money like, oh, please, maybe I'll see a tit. I don't. No, that's not. See it. That's not. Yeah, that's not for me. That's not my speed. I like to like, here's the money. Show me the monster, right, or whatever, right? The monster. I did not mean. I didn't mean that in a negative way.
Let me see that vaginal hole.
I just meant like when you go to a horror movie, and I don't know where I'm even pulling this from, but like you want it to be like, holy fuck, right? I paid for this fucking, you don't have to be a fucking dick tease the whole time, right? So like that's just me. But I do think that we're gonna see an A-list celebrity join OnlyFans and make so much money that it breaks the fucking internet. That's what I think. Okay. Your turn.
Oh, are we going back and forth? Oh, I like this. Okay. God, that's really good. Jesus. And I love Scarlett Johansson because I feel like that's actually in her wheelhouse. When you said that, however, my brain for some reason went to Jennifer Lawrence. I don't know why, but she just became a mom, so I don't think that's necessarily going to happen. So,
it's a good guess,
so did Scarlett Johansson. Now that I think about it, they did just have a kid.
Yeah.
So I think that there is going to be, I mean, I hate to start bland, but don't worry, I'm going to build up.
That's all right.
I think there's going to be a major A-list divorce of a couple that you never, ever thought would ever break up. Like, you were just like rock solid. This is the pinnacle, you know. I don't want to say Michelle and Barack, but we're talking
Oh my
that
God.
level. I know, right? But what I will
Jesus.
say is, are we talking like Harry and Meghan?
Uh,
Oh, but I'm talking like a couple that you're like,
right.
no, like that these people are holding it down. And not only is it going to be one of those things where it's going to be a divorce, it's going to be joint statements that are like, in actuality, we've been separated for X amount of years. We wanted to respect our privacy, the privacy of our kids. We've tried to work things out. We worked together on faith, but it just was not working. And we wish the other person mutually well. But it's going to be one of those couples that you were like, fuck, there goes the sanctity of marriage. There goes the people that I really kept on an echelon of like, this is the reason why I believe that
Right.
Hollywood can't taint relationships. And now they're breaking up. Fuck it, I give up. So I
Yeah.
think that's going to happen in 2025.
That's solid. That's a solid one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So my next prediction, I think, and it's been a very long time since we've had one. I don't even know if there's use for these things anymore because we do have OnlyFans and we do have all these things, right? But I do think, and it's very nostalgic. It's early 2000s, right? I think in 2025, I predict that there will be a major celebrity sex tape leak and it'll be like graphic as fuck. I don't know who, but somebody in that A-list, B-list, like pop movie star realm is going to like have a sex tape leak, whatever the fuck that means nowadays. That's because I feel like we're overdue for one. And like everyone's like, nostalgic as fuck. Like what's more nostalgic than a sex tape?
A good old fashioned sex tape. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I think.
Oh my God, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm sitting here going, who?
Well, the Who, I would, because, maybe we'll get, maybe it will be another Kim Kardashian link and or link in bio.
Link in bio.
It'll be another Kim Kardashian leak, and then she'll use that to start her OnlyFans. Maybe both of my predictions are.
And when you said that, that's what I was like, oh, it can be married together so well. So it makes you think.
Yeah.
I feel like both of your predictions can be separate.
Sure.
But I do see that we're going to get some Kardashian style. This was a leak, but it was done clearly on purpose to make you shiny object look over here and not look over here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And like Kim Kardashian just put out that short film for the holidays. I don't know if you saw it. Had Macaulay Culkin in it. It's super weird. It's super bizarre. Say what you will about the Kardashians. I will always have respect for their ability
the hustle, dude.
to market and whatever. She put out this crazy like 4.5 minute thing where she's crawling around on her hands and knees with like her ass in the air. Just go to her Instagram. It's called like, I don't know, holiday something. You'll be able to find it. Trust me.
I heard someone talking about it and she was like, no, she meant it to be like a fever dream. And I was like, oh, okay. Like great marketing. Like,
I think it's the content of it. I think is really fucking cool. And I'm like, man, this is what we need more of is like this Andy Warhol, like shock and awe kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, okay. So that's my prediction. What is your prediction? What is your next prediction?
Prediction number 2, which I'm really excited and I hope to God this happens, especially going into the administration that we're about to go into.
Mm-hmm.
I think that there is going to be someone who is possibly a former sex worker, someone who is somehow related to the industry, who decides to go into politics and actually wins.
Okay. Any idea who?
No idea.
Okay.
But they win. Their platform is amazing. Their platform is solid. They're advocates not just for sex work, but on sex education. They're advocates for Planned Parenthood and anything related to preventative health. I have lupus, and one of the medications that I take here in the state of Florida under our awesome governor at one point was banned because at times it's used as a second form of medication for like latent abortions needed medically. Totally not what it used for, but like the way the bill was written, it was one of those things that was like, if you still have a working uterus, you can't fucking take this medicine. And I was like, I don't have a working uterus and I need it for my lupus. Like, fuck you very much.
Yeah.
And I feel like this person would be the advocate for people like me and other people who are like, this is why this medication is used for. I just think that there's going to be someone, I feel almost in a Tracy Lords resurgence where they completely rebrand themselves and they go down this lane of politics. And if they don't win, they make such an engaging conversation that forces the general public to go, okay.
Yeah. Okay. No, I mean,
Yeah.
that'd be incredible. I met Stormy Daniels this year as part of my wild year.
Kind of one of the reasons why I had that thought. So
she's great. I don't think it will be her, but actually, you know, it's possible. So there's that, you know.
Yeah.
So okay, that brings me to my final prediction. This is very interesting. I think that in 2025, we are going to see a massive scandal and or like total blowout destruction of a social media platform. And I'm not talking about I'm not talking about TikTok, right?
You're not talking about TikTok? Okay.
No. So it's
going to be Twitter. It's going to be
Twitter, Meta. What the fuck else is there? Twitter, Meta,
Snapchat,
Blue Sky, you know, or whatever. They're not big enough. But something, they're either going to be broken apart or like fly, like their algorithm is going to crash. Something weird, some sort of like total fucking fallout destruction scenario is going to happen with a major social media platform in 2025. I just think that the signs have been there all along. Like, I don't know if you are familiar with like the Facebook like reboot that like supposedly happened a few weeks ago. My feed's all fucked up, you know. Maybe it's YouTube, those fuckers. Anyway, but I think that for my final prediction, I think there's some sort of thing that we've been used to day in and day out that's going to have like a Mr. Robot scenario where it's just going to completely crumble. And so, yeah, that's my final prediction. What is your final prediction for 2025?
You guys, I hate to say this, and it just came. I know. It just came to me, and I was like, "Fuck, I think that's gonna happen." God, I'm gonna feel like such a dick for saying this, especially because if it happens, I'm gonna be. I think we are unfortunately.
Oh, God damn it!
Oh fuck. I think we're going to unfortunately have a celebrity death that is quite similar to Princess Diana, where we as like a country and a world and a nation are like, fuck, why this person? Why this person? And I say that just because I did an episode on my podcast and we were talking about the celebrity deaths that just hit us the hardest. And we all collectively talked about, you know, looking at the images of the car crash and what that was like, and then the funeral and like how we all reacted and how the world reacted. And I don't think we've had an unfortunate passing like that since. And I feel like it's gonna happen.
Well, Jesus. Okay, first of all, it's terrible, and I hope it does not happen.
I know. But I'm so sorry.
I thought you were gonna be like, I unfortunately think that the United States is going to war. I was like, oh fuck.
No, God, no.
Yeah. So
I mean, let's be honest, we probably are, and I'm fucking terrified. But yeah, and then you're gonna ask me who I think it is. I'm not saying shit because I don't want to do that. I was already the bearer of bad news by saying that, and I don't want to be like, I think it's gonna be so and so.
So you think Guy Fieri is gonna die?
Yeah.
No, we can't lose Guy Fieri. What the
so.
fuck?
I mean,
No.
you know what? Let me not say that. And then if he does die, I'm be like, fuck.
Like, what did she know? Yeah.
Like, what did I know? Like, what was in the burgers? Like, I don't want to say that. Like, no.
What was in the burgers?
I don't want to say that. I say that because Guy Fieri burgers are on all Carnival cruise ships, and
really?
I work for Carnival, and those burgers are fucking fire. So no, I don't want to say that. Like, all jokes aside, it's not gonna be Guy Fieri, but I do. I there was just something that happened with her passing that just forever altered the world, and we just never. And we're not talking like Queen Elizabeth passed and like, oh, we're all like, no, we're talking like time stood still when Princess Diana passed. And I think that's going to happen again to someone. And I honestly, I say that right now, and no shit, like, all jokes aside, I can't even like fathom who that person would be.
Yeah.
But I feel like it would happen. And when it does, you're going to message me and be like, fuck you, Desiree.
I would never say fuck you, but like,
And
fuck.
I'd be like, shit, fuck. And I'm like, yeah.
God damn.
We have to somehow end on a happy note. I'm so sorry.
Okay. Well, you know, I think, I don't care what anybody.
Bonus prediction or bonus thought.
Yeah. My bonus thought is just like, I don't think, listen, like, it doesn't matter how you voted. You're welcome to listen to this podcast. You're welcome to engage. Yes. If you disagree with me, put it in the comments, argue with me about it, whatever. But I welcome you here. Okay. Like, and for those of you who voted and it didn't turn out or whatever, like, you know, we all know like Donald Trump's coming in. He's going to do a bunch of wacky shit. I think a lot of things he's going to do are not going to be agreeable with a lot of people and whatever. But my point is that if you're feeling optimistic and then it doesn't work out and you're like, God damn it, oh my God. Or if you're feeling down and you're going into this year, I just think that 2025, no matter what happens, right? We've survived a fucking pandemic. We survived some insane, crazy shit all around, right? I just think that 2025 is going to be okay. We're going to be okay. It's going to be fucking good. Reach out to those people that you want to reach out to. Take those fucking chances. Start your own fucking podcast. Tell me to go fuck myself. Whatever makes you feel better, I think you should actively push for and advocate for yourself. Don't take any shit from anybody out there. Your boss, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your wife, your husband, your fucking kids. Tell them to fuck off too if they're on your nerves, right? Like, you need to actually like be your own lawyer, be your own best friend, as corny as that is, but like, fight for yourself and your own sanity and happiness. And I think as long as you do that, 2025 is going to be fucking great. So that's my message.
Yeah. And I will say super briefly, I think that is exactly what 2025 should be. However you look at it, and you're looking at it like, fuck, this seems really bleak and dark. You have the opportunity to do, as my light dies, you have the opportunity to do something absolutely fucking amazing in 2025. And I just don't want you to think that the world is over. What if the thing that you dared to dream so big actually came true in 25?
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah. What if you finally have that threesome with your wife? I mean, come on, guys. Let's do this.
Put it on OnlyFans and made a shit ton of money.
And became a celebrity. Yep. Exactly. And then you bankrupted Meta. We love it. Desiree Simone. Thank you so much for being with me for another year beginning episode. I love having you on. You'll be back way sooner than they think, because we are working on something that we are not talking about. But
we're not going to talk about. But I do hope I get a jacket, because I am now in the Sex Party 5 Timers Club. You
are in the 5 Timers Club, yeah. And I need to figure out something to do for that. So this is your 5th appearance. Plus, you had we counted as a half appearance because you were also on the Halloween. Yeah. So it's like 5.5, right? So there's that. Yeah. Let's remind these party goers where they can find you, where they can find your podcast, where they can support everything that you're doing.
So you can follow me on Instagram at IamDSimone. If you are interested in all things personal development and you're tired of feeling stuck and you're like, I really want to make something of my life in 2025, come on, visit me on my website, Desiree-Simone.com. And then the podcast is Growth on the Rocks. You can find it on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Go download all her episodes. They're fucking so much fun. And you know, I love you. And thanks for another wrapped slash prediction episode. So we'll, you know, I'm going to have you back way sooner. I'm dying to say what it is, but I'm not going to say it. So
we're going to talk a little bit offline. We might start teasing, but I love you too. Thank you so much for always having me and being so supportive. So
yeah, of course. We'll talk soon.
Bye.
Big thank you to my friend and my guest, Desiree Simone, for being here with me again. Make sure you go check out her podcast. Go check out everything she is doing. Support her. You know, go over, follow her on Instagram, do all of the things. She's amazing. You'll thank me for it. Trust me, if you're loving guests like Desiree, you want to see more guests like her, you want to see Desiree again because you know she'll be back. We are working on something top secret. But you're just loving Sex Party. You love the show. You never want to miss an episode. What can you do to show that and also some appreciation, some love, right? You could leave a rating. You could leave a review if you're listening to this on places like Spotify, Apple, iHeart. Those things are wonderful and great, but fuck all that. What you really want to make sure you do is you want to make sure you subscribe to the show so you never miss a new episode every single Wednesday, especially if you're listening on Apple Podcasts. Apple Podcasts has been unsubscribing people from certain shows for whatever reason. We don't know what's going on. Hopefully this year we'll figure it out. But what you want to do is go to Apple Podcasts, go to Sex Party with Dustin Rybka. Upper right-hand corner, there's going to be like some sort of icon, right? So if you see a pause button, you see a download arrow, tap that. A drop-down menu will appear. You want to click on resume subscription, resume download, and bing, bang, boom, bop, blingo, you're resubscribed, you're good to go. If you're watching on YouTube, I love you, I see you, I appreciate you. If you're watching on YouTube, what is your big 2025 prediction? Can be anything. Leave it in the comments. If you're watching on YouTube, what can you do? Well, you could like all of the videos, including this one. You could leave comments on all the videos. I love interacting with you guys, whether it's positive or negative. Just leave that comment. If you think you want to do it, just do it. We'll communicate back and forth. But most importantly, you want to make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you never miss a new episode every single goddamn Wednesday forever. I am always available in the DMs on Instagram, and I will catch you all right back here next week.
Thanks for listening. The party continues next week. Click subscribe and let's make this a regular thing. Follow the show on Instagram and Twitter at SexPartyFM. Follow Dustin at Dustin Rybka.